Part I, Foundations of Graphic Design Chapter 1, What is Graphic Design? Opening hook, graphic design is not merely about making things look attractive, it is the art and science of visual communication. It is the intentional combination of text, images, and forms to convey ideas, solve problems, and create experiences that inform, persuade, and captivate an audience. This chapter establishes the fundamental purpose and process that underpin all successful design work. Defining the discipline. Graphic design is a multidisciplinary field focused on creating visual content to communicate messages. It exists at the intersection of aesthetics, psychology, business, and technology. Unlike fine art, which is primarily an expression of the artist's inner world, graphic design is almost always a client-driven process aimed at achieving a specific objective for a target audience. It is a form of visual problem-solving, where every choice from color and type to spacing and imagery is made to serve a communicative function. Its applications are vast, encompassing branding and identity, logos, brand guidelines, marketing and advertising, brochures, billboards, social media ads, user interface, UI, and web design, websites, app interfaces, publication design, books, magazines, newspapers, packaging and product design, environmental design, signage, trade show booths. The role of a graphic designer. The modern graphic designer is a visual strategist and a craftsperson. Their role extends beyond simply using software. Key responsibilities include interpreter and translator, translating a client's abstract goals and messages into concrete visual form. Researcher, understanding the client's industry, competitors, and, most importantly, the target audience. Storyteller, structuring visual and textual information into a coherent and compelling narrative. Problem solver, identifying communication challenges and devising effective visual solutions. Collaborator, working with clients, marketers, writers, developers, and printers to bring it project to life. Technician, mastering the tools of the trade, like Adobe Creative Cloud, to execute ideas with precision and efficiency. Core principles: contrast, hierarchy, alignment, repetition, CRAP, often humorously acronymed as CRAP. These four principles form the bedrock of effective visual design. A strong design will leverage all four in harmony. 1. Contrast, the difference between elements. Contrast creates visual interest and directs the viewer's attention. It can be achieved through color, size, shape, texture, or type. Purpose, to avoid elements that are merely similar and to make a layout dynamic and organized. 2. Repetition, reusing consistent visual elements throughout a piece, e.g., a color, a shape, a spatial relationship, a typeface, a graphic motif. Purpose, to unify and strengthen a design, creating a cohesive look and feel. It is the cornerstone of building a recognizable brand identity. 3. Alignment, ensuring every element has a visual connection to another element on the page. Nothing is placed arbitrarily. Alignment creates a clean, sophisticated, and intentional structure. Purpose, to create order and organize information visually, making it easier for the viewer to digest. 4. Hierarchy, the visual arrangement of elements in a way that implies importance. It guides the viewer's eye through the content in order of significance. Purpose, to make complex information accessible. Hierarchy is most commonly established through variations in size, color, contrast, and placement. E.g., a large, bold headline followed by a smaller subheadline and then body text. The design thinking process. Design is a methodical process, not a moment of random inspiration. The design thinking framework provides a structured approach to creative problem solving. 1. Empathize, understand the audience for whom you are designing. Conduct research to develop an understanding of their needs, desires, and challenges. 2. Define, synthesize your research findings to form a clear, actionable problem statement. This is the brief within the brief that defines the core challenge to be solved. 3. Ideate, generate a wide range of ideas and potential solutions without judgment. Techniques like sketching, mind mapping, and brainstorming are key here. Quantity is initially more important than quality. 4. Prototype, produce inexpensive, scaled down versions of the design, e.g., wireframes, mock UPS, drafts, to investigate the ideas generated. 5. Test, rigorously test the prototypes with the target audience. Gather feedback, refine the solutions, and iterate. This is a cyclical process, often leading back to the ideate or define stages. Building a creative brief. The creative brief is the foundational document for any design project. It acts as a contract between the client and the designer, ensuring everyone is aligned on goals, scope, and deliverables. A comprehensive brief includes project overview, a one-sentence summary of the project objectives and goals. What should the design achieve? E.g., increase brand awareness, drive website traffic, explain a complex process, target audience, a detailed description of the primary and secondary audience's key message, the single most important takeaway for the audience. Deliverables, the specific tangible items to be created, e.g., 1 logo, 3 social media banners, a 8-page brochure, timeline and milestones, key dates for reviews, revisions, and final delivery. Budget, the project's financial constraints, competitors and tone, examples of what the client likes/dislikes and the desired brand tone, e.g., professional, playful, luxurious. Chapter 2, the language of design, elements and principles. Opening hook, just as a writer must understand grammar and a musician must understand scales, a graphic designer must master the core visual vocabulary. This vocabulary is divided into 2 categories: the elements of design, which are the basic units of any visual piece, and the principles of design, which are the rules for how to arrange those elements effectively. This chapter defines this language, providing the essential toolkit for all creative decision-making elements, the building blocks. These are the raw materials an artist or designer uses to create a composition. 1 line, the most fundamental element. A line is a mark connecting 2 points. It can be used to define shapes, outline a form, divide space, create borders and grids, guide the eye, lead the viewer's gaze through a layout, convey emotion. Horizontal lines feel calm, vertical lines feel strong, diagonal lines imply action or tension. Types, straight, curved, zigzag, implied, a series of points that the eye connects. 2 shape, a 2-dimensional, enclosed area defined by lines, color, or value shifts. Shapes are flat and have only height and width. Geometric, precise and mathematical. Squares, circles, triangles, organic, natural, irregular, and often curvilinear. Leaves, puddles, blobs, abstract, simplified versions of organic shapes, icons, symbols. 3 form, a 3-dimensional shape, possessing height, width, and depth in 2-dimensional design, like on a screen or paper. Form is implied through techniques like shading, highlighting, and perspective to create the illusion of depth. A circle is a shape, a sphere is a form. For space, the area around, between, or within elements. Space is not empty, it is a powerful design element itself. Positive space, the space occupied by the main subject or elements. Negative space, see dedicated section below. The empty space around and between subjects. Effective use of negative space defines a composition's clarity and elegance. 5 texture, the surface quality of a shape, how it looks or feels like it would feel if touched. It adds visual interest and depth. Tactile texture, actual, physical texture, e.g., raised ink on a business card, rough paper stock. Visual texture, an illusion of texture created through artistic means, e.g., a photograph of tree bark, a digital pattern that looks like linen. 6 value, the lightness or darkness of a color or tone. Value is critical for creating contrast, establishing mood, and defining form through light and shadow. A grayscale image is a study purely in value. 7 color, perhaps the most complex and emotionally resonant element. Color theory will be explored in depth in a later chapter, but here it is introduced as an element defined by hue, the name of the color itself, e.g., red, blue, yellow. Saturation, the intensity or purity of the color, from vivid to dull. Value, as defined above, its lightness or darkness. Principles, the organizational rules. The principles dictate how the elements are used and arranged to create a successful composition. 1 balance, the distribution of visual weight within a composition. Weight can be influenced by size, value, color, and texture. Symmetrical balance, elements are evenly distributed on either side of a central axis, creating a formal, stable, and sometimes static feel. Asymmetrical balance, different Elements on either side of an axis balance each other through contrast, e.g., a large shape on the left balanced by several small shapes on the right. This creates a more dynamic, modern, and interesting composition. Radial balance, elements radiate outward from a central point, creating strong focus and movement to proximity, or grouping. The principle that related items should be placed close together to visually connect them as a cohesive group. This organizes information, reduces clutter, and creates a clear structure, helping the viewer understand relationships between elements instantly. 3. Rhythm, created by the repetition or alternation of elements to suggest movement. Rhythm creates a visual tempo, guiding the viewer's eye through the design. Regular rhythm, consistent, evenly spaced repetition. Flowing rhythm, repetition of wavy lines or curves. Progressive rhythm, a gradual change in the repeating element, e.g., shapes that get progressively smaller. 4. Pattern, the regular and repeating arrangement of elements. Pattern is rhythm's static cousin. It's decorative and creates texture by repeating a motif over a surface. 5. Movement, the path the viewer's eye takes through the artwork, guided by lines, edges, shapes, and color. The goal is to use these elements to create a deliberate visual flow, leading the eye from the primary focal point to secondary information and throughout the entire piece. 6. Scale and proportion, scale refers to the size of an object in relation to other objects in the design. Proportion is the size relationship between parts of a whole. Using contrasting scales, e.g., a very large element next to a very small one, can create drama, hierarchy, and visual interest. 7. Unity/harmony, the ultimate goal of all design. Unity is the feeling that all the elements of a piece work together as a cohesive whole. It creates a sense of completeness and order, while contrast creates excitement. Unity ensures the design doesn't feel chaotic. It is achieved by consistently applying the principles above. Understanding negative space, often called white space, even if it's not white. Negative space is the unmarked area in a design. It is not passive emptiness but an active element. Mastery of negative space is a hallmark of professional design function. It gives the positive elements room to breathe, preventing a layout from feeling cramped and overwhelming. Clarity and readability, ample negative space around text blocks and between elements dramatically improves legibility and comprehension, creating meaning. Clever use of negative space can create clever optical illusions and secondary, implied imagery, e.g., the FedEx logo's hidden arrow, the WWF panda. Introduction to typography terminology. Typography is the art of arranging type, and its own deep language will be covered in Chapter 10. This section provides the essential terms every designer must know from day one. Typeface vs font. A typeface is the design of the lettering, e.g., Helvetica, Garamond. A font is the digital file that contains that design in a specific style and weight, e.g., Helvetica Bold 12 pt, serif. A small stroke or foot attached to the end of a letter's main stroke. Serif typefaces, e.g., Times New Roman, are often seen as traditional, formal, and trustworthy. Sans serif, sans means without. Sans serif typefaces, e.g., Helvetica, Arial, lack these strokes and are perceived as modern, clean, and minimalist. Weight, the thickness of the stroke of a font, e.g., light, regular, bold, black. Hierarchy, in type, using different typefaces, sizes, weights, and colors to distinguish between levels of importance, e.g., heading, subheading, body text. Chapter 3, the Digital Toolbox, Introduction to Adobe Creative Cloud. Opening hook, a master carpenter understands the purpose of each tool in their workshop. Similarly, a professional graphic designer must understand the purpose, strength, and application of each application in the Adobe Creative Cloud suite. This chapter provides a map to this powerful ecosystem, explaining the core concepts that will allow you to choose the right tool for the job and work efficiently across the entire platform. Overview of the Adobe ecosystem. Adobe Creative Cloud, CC, is not a single application but a comprehensive subscription-based service that gives users access to a collection of software for graphic design, video editing, web development, photography, and cloud services. For the graphic designer, the Holy Trinity of applications forms the core of this ecosystem. Adobe Photoshop, the industry standard for raster-based image editing, photo manipulation, and digital painting. Its primary strength lies in working with pixels, making it ideal for retouching photographs, creating complex composites, and designing web graphics and UI elements. Adobe Illustrator, the premier application for vector-based drawing and design. It is used for creating logos, icons, illustrations, typography, and complex layouts that require absolute precision and the ability to scale infinitely without loss of quality. Adobe InDesign, the powerhouse for page layout and publishing. It is designed to combine assets created in Photoshop and Illustrator with extensive text to create multi-page documents like brochures, magazines, books, posters, and interactive PDFs. Other key applications include Adobe XD, for UI/UX and prototype design, Adobe Premiere Pro, for video editing, and Adobe After Effects, for motion graphics and visual effects. Understanding file types, raster vs vector. This is the most critical technical concept for a new designer to grasp, as it dictates which application you should start a project in. Raster graphics, bitmap images composed of a fixed grid of tiny colored squares called pixels. Key characteristic, resolution dependent. This means they contain a fixed amount of detail. Enlarging a raster image beyond its intended size forces the pixels to expand, resulting in a blurry, blocky appearance known as pixelation. Primary use, editing photographs and creating detailed digital artwork where soft color transitions are necessary. Common file types, PSD, Photoshop's native, layered file essential for saving editable work. JPG/JPEG, a compressed format ideal for photographs on the web, loses quality with each save. Lossy compression, PNG, supports transparency and is lossless, making it perfect for web graphics like logos and icons on websites. GIF, supports simple animations and transparency. TIFF, a high-quality, lossless format standard for professional printing. Vector graphics, composed of mathematical equations that define points, lines, curves, and shapes. Key characteristic, resolution-independent. Vectors are based on math, not pixels. They can be scaled to any size from a postage stamp to a billboard with no loss of quality whatsoever. The edges remain perfectly crisp and sharp. Primary use, creating logos, icons, typography, illustrations, and technical drawings that must scale to various sizes. Common file types, AI, Illustrator's native, editable file. EPS, a legacy vector format that is widely compatible with other design programs. PDF, a universal format that can contain both vector and raster data, ideal for sending final designs to clients and printers. SVG, a web standard vector format that is scalable and can be styled with code. Rule of thumb, use Photoshop for pixel-based images, photos, use Illustrator for shape-based graphics that need to scale. Logos, use InDesign to bring everything together into a final layout. Setting up your workspace, panels, tools, and workspaces. All major Adobe applications share a common, customizable interface philosophy, reducing the learning curve. The application frame, the container that holds all the elements of the interface. The tools panel, a vertical dock, typically on the left side of the screen, containing all the primary tools for creating and editing artwork. Related tools are grouped together. A small arrow in a tool's corner indicates a hidden group of additional tools. Panels, smaller windows that provide controls for modifying your work, e.g., color, layers, properties. Paragraph panels, panels can be docked, attached to the side of the application frame, grouped, stacked together in a single dock, floating, placed anywhere on the screen for easy access. The options bar, control bar in Illustrator/InDesign, a contextual horizontal bar at the top of the screen that displays options for the currently selected tool. Workspaces, predefined arrangements of panels and tools tailored for specific tasks, e.g., essentials, painting, typography, print. You can customize your own panel layout and save it as a new workspace via Window Workspace. New workspace, this allows you to create an efficient, personalized environment. Introduction to Creative Cloud libraries and Adobe fonts. Adobe's cloud-based services are what truly connect the ecosystem and revolutionize the modern design workflow. Creative Cloud libraries, what it is, a cloud-synced repository where you can save and organize design assets including colors, character styles, graphics, images, and even entire InSign page layouts. Why it's powerful: any asset added to a library is instantly available across all your Adobe applications on any computer where you are signed in. For example, you can save a logo in an Illustrator library and place it directly into an InSign layout or a Photoshop mock-up. Define a brand's color palette in one place and have those colors appear in the swatches panel of Photoshop, Illustrator, and InSign. Ensure absolute consistency and drastically speed up your workflow when working on a brand identity or multi-application project. Adobe Fonts, formerly Typekit. What it is: a vast library of over 20,000 high-quality, licensed typefaces that are included with your Creative Cloud subscription. Why it's powerful: you can instantly browse, activate, and use any font from the Adobe Fonts library directly within your desktop applications, Photoshop, Illustrator, InSign. The fonts are synced to your computer and work like any other system font. This eliminates the hassle of manually installing font files and ensures that when you send a file to a client or collaborator who also uses CC, the fonts will appear correctly for them. It is an invaluable resource for typographic exploration. Part 2, Mastering the Essential Tools. Chapter 4, Adobe Photoshop, the Image and Pixel Powerhouse. Opening hook: Adobe Photoshop is the undisputed king of image manipulation. Its name is synonymous with the craft itself. While often associated with altering reality, its true power for the professional designer lies in its ability to edit, enhance, and composite raster-based imagery for everything from web banners to print advertisements. This chapter moves beyond the myths to provide a foundational mastery of the tools and non-destructive workflows that define professional grade Photoshop work. The Photoshop interface. Demystified. Upon launching Photoshop, you are greeted by a modular interface built for customization. Key components include document window, the central area where your image is displayed. Tabs show open documents. Tools panel, the vertical toolbar on the left, housing selection, cropping, painting, retouching, and typing tools. Long click a tool icon to reveal hidden tools in its group. Options bar, context sensitive and located at the top. It changes to display the options for whichever tool is currently selected, e.g., brush size, feathering for a selection, font family for the type tool. Panels, docked on the right side. These windows control specific aspects of your work. The most critical panels for beginners are Layers panel, the heart of Photoshop. It stacks elements, allowing for isolated editing and complex compositing. Properties panel, displays settings for the currently selected layer, adjustment layer, or mask color / swatches / gradients. Panels, for selecting and managing colors. History panel, shows a list of recent actions, allowing you to step backwards in your workflow. Core concepts: resolution, image size, and canvas size. Understanding these three concepts is non-negotiable for producing quality work. Resolution, measured in pixels per inch, ppi. This defines the density of the pixels in a digital image. It is a print-centric concept. Web/screen, 72 ppi is the standard. Screens display pixels directly, so physical size is determined by the pixel dimensions, e.g., a 1000 x 1000 px image at 72 ppi and the same image at 300 ppi will appear identical on a website. Print, 300 ppi is the standard for high-quality printing. This high density ensures the tiny pixels are invisible to the human eye, resulting in crisp, sharp edges. Image size, image size. This defines the actual pixel dimensions and print resolution of your document. Resampling is the critical option here. Resampling on Photoshop adds or removes pixels to change the document's physical dimensions. This can cause loss of quality when enlarging. Use algorithms like preserve details, enlargement, or bicubic sharper reduction for best results. Resampling off, you can change the print resolution or physical print size without changing the pixel dimensions. The image quality remains perfectly intact. This is used to prepare a file for a specific print size. Canvas size, image canvas size. This changes the work area around your image without altering the image itself. You can add extra space, which appears as a background, or crop into the image. It's essential for creating borders or adjusting an image's aspect ratio. Essential tools, layers, masks, and selection tools. This trio forms the functional core of Photoshop layers. Think of layers as transparent sheets of acetate stacked on top of each other. You can paint, place text, or add images on a layer without affecting the layers below. This allows for infinite experimentation and control. The Layers panel is your command center for managing the stack, showing / hiding, reordering, grouping, and adjusting the opacity of each layer. Selection tools. Selections define an area with a marching ants border. Only the area inside the selection can be edited. Key tools include marquee tools, M for selecting simple geometric shapes, lasso tools, L for freehand selections, quick selection tool, W, and magic wand, for selecting areas based on color and tone. Object selection tool, AI-powered tool to automatically detect and select objects. Pen tool, P, the most precise way to create complex selections and paths, though it has a steeper learning curve. Masks, a layer mask is a non-destructive way to hide and reveal parts of a layer. They are grayscale. Where the mask is white, the layer is visible. Where it is black, the layer is hidden. Painting on a mask with a black brush erases parts of the layer without actually deleting any pixels, allowing you to refine or reverse the effect at any time. Non-destructive editing, smart objects and adjustment layers. Amateur workflows destroy pixels, professional workflows preserve them. Non-destructive editing is the hallmark of a proficient Photoshop user. Adjustment layers, these are special layers that apply color and tonal adjustments, e.g., levels, curves, hue/saturation, black and white, to the layers below them. They do not change the original image data. They come with built-in masks, allowing you to selectively apply the adjustment, and their settings can be changed infinitely. Smart objects, a layer that contains image data from raster or vector files. Right-click a layer and choose Convert to Smart Object. Key benefits: preserve source data. You can scale, rotate, or warp a smart object repeatedly without any cumulative loss of quality. Linked duplicates. Duplicating a smart object creates linked instances. Editing the contents of one updates all duplicates. Incredible for creating reusable UI elements or patterns. Filter flexibility. Filters applied to smart objects become smart filters. They are editable, removable, and can be masked, just like adjustment layers. Retouching and compositing techniques. Retouching, the art of enhancing or correcting an image. Spot healing. Brush, J, effortlessly removes blemishes and small objects by sampling surrounding pixels. Clone stamp tool, S, allows you to manually sample one area of an image and paint it onto another. Essential for larger, more precise repairs. Content-aware fill, a powerful feature that analyzes an image to seamlessly fill a selected area with matching surrounding content. Ideal for removing large objects. Compositing, the process of combining visual elements from different sources into a single, cohesive image. This relies entirely on the foundational skills above: precise selections to isolate objects, layer masks to blend them seamlessly, adjustment layers to match color and tone across all elements, and smart objects to maintain flexibility. Preparing images for web and print. The final step in any workflow is correct export for web and screen. File export, export as or save for web. Legacy, choose formats like JPEG, for photographs, PNG 24, for graphics requiring transparency, or PNG 8/GIF, for simple graphics with limited colors. Use the preview windows to balance image quality with file size for faster website loading. For print, file save as the preferred format is typically a high-resolution PDF, preserving vector elements where possible, or a TIFF, for maximum quality with raster data. Crucial, before saving, ensure the document is in CMYK color mode, image mode CMYK color, for professional printing, and that all necessary bleeds and printers marks are set if exporting via PDF. Chapter 5, Adobe Illustrator, the vector and drawing essential. Opening hook, if Photoshop is the darkroom and the airbrush, Illustrator is the drafting table and the precision pen. It is the environment for creating the core assets of any brand: logos, icons, and illustrations that must remain crisp and clear at any size. From a mobile app icon to a stadium banner, this chapter introduces the world of vectors, where design is defined by mathematics and absolute precision, offering infinite scalability and editability. The Illustrator interface, Artboards and vector paths. Illustrator's interface shares DNA with Photoshop but is built around two unique concepts, the artboard and the path. Artboards, these are the printable or exportable areas within your document, akin to multiple pages or canvases in a single file. You can have multiple artboards of different sizes for a single project, e.g., creating a logo, business card, and letterhead all in one file. The artboard tool, Shift+O, allows you to create, edit, and manage them. Vector paths, everything in Illustrator is built from paths. A path is made up of anchor points, points that define the path's shape and corners. Line segments, the lines connecting the anchor points. Handles, for Bezier curves, the lines extending from an anchor point that control the curve's shape and direction. The direct selection tool, A, is your primary tool for selecting and manipulating these individual anchor points and handles. The power of vectors, scalability and precision. This is the fundamental reason Illustrator exists. Scalability, because vectors are defined by mathematical equations, not pixels, they have no inherent resolution. You can zoom in to 100,000% and see perfectly sharp edges. A logo designed in Illustrator can be used on a pen or blown up to billboard size from the same original file with zero loss of quality. This is impossible with a raster-based program like Photoshop. Precision and editability, Illustrator provides exact numerical control over every element. You can use the transform and properties panels to position an object at specific x/y coordinates or give it an exact width and height. Use Smart Guides, view Smart Guides, to easily align, anchor, and measure distances between objects with snapping precision. Edit and reshape every element at any point in the design process. There are no destructive steps. The building blocks of your design remain fundamentally editable. Mastering the Pen tool and Shape Builder tool. These two tools are arguably the most important for efficient vector creation. The Pen tool, P, the quintessential vector tool. It takes practice to master but offers ultimate control for drawing custom shapes and illustrations. Click to create a corner point. Click and drag to create a smooth point with Bezier handles, allowing you to form perfect curves. Mastering it means understanding how to place anchor points efficiently and how to manipulate the handles to control the flow of a curve. It is the key to tracing sketches, creating custom logos, and intricate illustrations. The Shape Builder tool, Shift+M, a revolutionary tool for intuitive vector drawing. It allows you to merge, divide, and subtract simple overlapping shapes, like circles, squares, rectangles, to create complex, custom forms. Simply drag across overlapping shapes to merge them into a single new shape. Hold the Alt/Option key and drag across an area to delete it. This tool makes it easy to build complex logos and icons from basic parts without needing to master the Pathfinder panel operations manually. Working with color, gradients, and patterns. Illustrator provides powerful and flexible ways to apply color. The Swatches panel is your library of saved colors, including global swatches. Update once, and every object using that swatch updates everywhere. The Color Guide panel offers harmonious color schemes based on a chosen base color. Gradients, the Gradient panel allows you to apply and edit linear or radial gradients. A key power feature is applying gradients to individual strokes, not just fills. The Gradient tool, G, is used to interactively adjust the angle, length, and position of a gradient directly on the artboard. Patterns, you can easily create seamless repeating patterns. Design a motif, drag it into the Swatches panel, and it becomes a fill that can be applied to any shape. The Pattern Options panel provides advanced controls for editing the pattern's tile type and spacing. Using and manipulating type while InSign is the king of text-heavy layout. Illustrator is exceptionally powerful for crafting typographic-based logos, posters, and single-page designs. Point type and area type, clicking with the Type tool, T, creates a line of text that doesn't wrap. Point type, clicking and dragging creates a text box for paragraph text. Area type, type on a path, text can be attached to any vector path, allowing you to create text that curves around a circle or follows a wavy line. Outlining text, type create outlines converts text into editable vector shapes. This is critical for logo design to ensure the design appears exactly as intended on any computer. Even if the user doesn't have the specific font installed. Warning, this process is irreversible, the text can no longer be edited, so always save an original version with live type. Creating logos, icons, and illustrations. This section synthesizes all the chapter's concepts into practical application. Logo design. Illustrator is the industry standard. Start with sketches, then build the logo using shapes, the pen tool, and the shape builder tool. Use global color swatches for brand consistency. Always deliver the final logo in vector formats, AI, EPS, PDF, SVG. Icon design. Icons require clarity and scalability. Use a grid to ensure visual consistency across a set. Rely on simple, bold shapes and the Pathfinder panel to unite and divide elements cleanly. Illustrations. Build illustrations from layered vector shapes. Use the gradient tool to add depth and dimension. The width tool, Shift+W, is invaluable for adding dynamic variation to strokes, making them look hand-drawn or adding emphasis. Chapter 6, Adobe InDesign, the layout and publishing standard. Opening hook. If Photoshop paints the pictures and Illustrator forges the icons, InDesign is the architect that brings everything together. It is the undisputed industry standard for multi-page layout and publishing, designed to handle lengthy, text-heavy documents with precision and efficiency. This chapter explores the power of InDesign to structure content, maintain consistency, and produce professional-grade publications for both print and digital distribution. The InDesign interface, pages, masters, and spreads. InDesign's interface is built for managing complexity across multiple pages. Key structural elements include Pages panel, the mission control for your document. It displays thumbnails of all pages, allowing you to navigate, rearrange, add, and delete pages effortlessly. Spreads. InDesign sees two facing pages, a left-hand and a right-hand page, as a single unit called a spread. This is essential for designing books, magazines, and brochures where the layout across the spine is a critical design consideration. Master pages, the blueprint pages. This is InDesign's most powerful feature for maintaining consistency. Master pages are templates that you design once and apply to multiple document pages. Elements placed on a master page, like page numbers, headers, footers, logos, or background patterns, appear on every page to which that master is applied. How it works. You edit the master page to update every associated document page instantly. This eliminates the need to manually copy and paste repeating elements onto each page, ensuring absolute consistency and saving immense amounts of time. Structuring multi-page documents. Building a long document requires a structured approach from the start. Starting a new document, the initial dialog box is critical. Here you define the intent, print or web, the number of pages, page size, bleed, see below, and slug, an area for printer's instructions. Setting this up correctly from the beginning prevents problems later. The grid system. Professional layouts are built on invisible grids, baseline grids for text and document grids for objects, that create rhythm, alignment, and harmony across pages. Using margins and columns provides a structural framework for placing text and images. Layers panel. Like Photoshop and Illustrator, InDesign uses layers here. They are best used for organizing different types of content globally across all pages, e.g., a layer for text, a layer for images, a layer for background elements, rather than for individual page elements. Advanced text formatting, styles, threading, and text wrap. InDesign's typographic controls are the most advanced in the Adobe suite. Paragraph and character styles, the cornerstone of efficient text management. Paragraph styles save all formatting attributes for an entire paragraph: font, size, color, spacing, indents, etc. Applying a style ensures every headline, subhead, or body text block is perfectly consistent. Change the style definition, and every paragraph using that style updates automatically. Character styles apply formatting to a selected range of characters within a paragraph, e.g., making a word bold, italic, or a different color, without affecting the paragraph style. Text threading. InDesign links text frames together so text can flow continuously from one frame to another, even across different pages. An outport, a small box, on one text frame connects to an import on the next. This is essential for flowing long articles or stories through a multi-column, multi-page layout. Text wrap. The text wrap panel allows you to make text flow around any object, whether it's an image, a shape, or a custom vector path. You can control the offset distance and the wrap's shape, creating integrated and dynamic layouts. Placing and managing images and graphics. InSign is not an image editing program, it is an image placing program. The best practice is to edit assets in Photoshop or Illustrator and link to them in InSign. Placing files. File place is the correct method for importing images and graphics. This creates a low-resolution preview in your layout that is linked to the original, high-resolution external file links panel. This is your dashboard for all imported graphics. It shows the status of each linked file. Modified. The original file has been edited. You can update the link within InSign to reflect the changes. Missing. The original file has been moved or renamed. You must relink it. Embedding. This places the entire image file into the InSign document. Breaking the link. This is generally discouraged as it drastically increases file size and makes updating images impossible. Linking is the professional standard. Creating print-ready PDFs with bleeds and marks. The final, crucial step for any print project is exporting a correctly prepared PDF bleed. A bleed is an area outside the trim edge of the page where background colors, images, or elements must extend. This ensures that when the paper is trimmed to its final size, no unprinted edges occur. A standard bleed setting is 0.125 inches, 3 mm. Printer's marks. These are crop marks that show the printer where to trim, registration marks for color alignment, and color bars for ink density. Checking the export dialog. File export Adobe PDF, print. Here you choose a preset like high quality print or PDF/X1A 2001, a standard that ensures reliable printing. You must manually check the box to use document bleed settings and select which marks to include to generate a truly print-ready file. Introduction to interactive PDFs and digital publications. InSign extends beyond print into the digital realm. Interactive PDFs. You can add hyperlinks, bookmarks, buttons, and video/audio embeds to a PDF when exported with the interactive PDF preset. These elements become functional, creating documents for presentations, portfolios, or forms. Digital publications. Publish online and EPUB. InSign can export layouts to EPUB format for ebooks and digital magazines. The Publish Online feature generates a unique URL to share an interactive, web-based version of your document that can be viewed in any modern browser, preserving animations, hyperlinks, and multimedia elements. This allows designers to create engaging digital experiences directly from their layout workflow. Part 3, Applied Design Projects. Chapter 7, Project 1, Building a Brand Identity. Opening hook. A brand is more than just a logo, it is the entire ecosystem of how a company presents itself to the world. It is a promise of consistency, quality, and experience. In this chapter, you will act as a brand designer, taking a fictional client, e.g., Echo Coffee Roasters, a local artisan coffee shop, from initial concept to a full, scalable identity system. This project will synthesize your skills in Illustrator, InSign, and your understanding of core design principles. The logo design process. Sketching to vector. A great logo is simple, memorable, timeless, versatile, and appropriate. The process is deliberate and iterative. 1. Discovery and brief. Define the brand's core values, target audience, and market differentiators. For our example, Echo Coffee Roasters values sustainability, community, and exceptional quality. Their audience is urban, 25 to 45, and values authenticity. 2. Mind mapping and sketching. Start on paper, not the computer. Brainstorm words associated with the brand, e.g., echo, sound waves, coffee bean, mountain for quality, circular for community. Sketch dozens of rough, thumbnail concepts. Explore literal and abstract ideas. 3. Digital refinement. In Illustrator, select the 3 to 5 strongest sketch concepts. Bring them into Illustrator using one of two methods: scan and image trace. Scan your sketches and use Subject Image Trace to create a vector outline to build upon. Redraw with Shape/Pen tool. Use the Pen tool, P. Shape Builder tool, Shift+M, and Basic Shapes to recreate your sketch with clean, precise vectors. This is the preferred method for maximum control for iteration and presentation. Develop your best 2 to 3 concepts into polished black and white versions. First, a strong logo must work in a single color. Present these to your client, or for self-critique, on a presentation template. showing the logo applied in context, e.g., small on a coffee cup, large on a bag, creating a brand color palette and typography system. The logo is the cornerstone, but color and type give the brand its voice and personality. Color palette, start with psychology, choose colors that reflect the brand's values. For eco, earthy tones, browns, greens, suggests sustainability and nature. A warm accent color, a terracotta orange, could evoke warmth and community. Build a system, create a palette in Illustrator's swatches panel with 1 to 2 primary colors, the main brand colors, 1 to 2 accent colors, 4 calls to action and highlights. Neutrals, blacks, whites, grays for text and backgrounds. Save as a CC library. Add this palette to a Creative Cloud library named Echo Coffee Brand Assets so it's instantly available in Photoshop and InSign. Typography system, choose 2 to 3 typefaces maximum, 1 for headings, 1 for body text, and maybe an accent font. They should complement each other with contrast, e.g., a strong, modern sans serif for headings paired with a highly readable serif for body text. Define hierarchy. In your project file, create styled text boxes that define H1/headline, font name, size, weight, color. H2/subhead, font name, size, weight, color. Body copy, font name, size, leading, line height, color. Use Adobe fonts. Ensure your chosen fonts are available via Adobe Fonts for seamless workflow integration. Designing business cards and letterhead. InSign. Now, apply the identity to tangible touchpoints. This is where InSign shines. Business card setup. Create a new print document in InSign with the standard dimensions, 35x2, and a bleed of 0125. Use master pages to place non-variable elements like the logo, brand pattern, or background color that will appear on every card on the document page. Use text frames and the type tool, T, to add the employee's information, name, title, contact details. Apply the paragraph and character styles you defined in your system. For consistency. Place, file place, the final logo vector, AI file, to ensure crisp quality. Letterhead setup, create a new document for standard US letter or A4 size with bleed. Again, use a master page for the repeating elements, the logo at the top, perhaps a footer with the address and website, and a subtle background element. The main area of the page should be mostly empty, reserved for the letter's content, but guided by margin lines from your grid. Developing brand guidelines. This is the deliverable that ensures the brand is used correctly by anyone else in the future, employees, partners, printers. Create this document in InSign. A simple brand guide includes 1. Logo usage. Show the primary logo in color and black and white. Define clear space, the minimum required area around the logo, and show incorrect usage examples, e.g., don't stretch, don't recolor, don't add effects. 2. Color palette. Display the swatches with their printing values, CMYK, screen values, RGB/hex, and Pantone spot color references if applicable. 3. Typography. Show the type hierarchy with examples of its use. H1, H2, body, etc. 4. Imagery style. Define the style of photography or illustration that should be used with the brand, e.g., bright, natural light, candid shots of people. 5. Application examples. Mock up the business card, letterhead, and perhaps a coffee bag or website header to show the identity in action. This final document is the culmination of the project, proving you can deliver not just a logo, but a complete, systematic, and professional brand identity. Chapter 8, Project 2, Designing. For print, a brochure. Opening hook. Print design is where precision meets persuasion. Unlike digital design, where mistakes can be fixed with an update, a print error is permanent and costly. This chapter guides you through the complete process of creating a multi-page brochure for our fictional client, Echo Coffee Roasters. You will learn the professional workflow for setting up a document, managing high-resolution assets, implementing advanced layout structures, and, crucially, preparing flawless files for a commercial printer. Setting up a print document in InSign. The foundation of a successful print project is built in the new document dialog box. Care here prevents problems later. Intent. Select print page size, choose a standard size, e.g., 85x11 for a booklet, or define a custom size for a brochure. A common choice is an 11x17 sheet folded twice to create a triple panel mailer orientation, portrait or landscape pages. Define the total number of pages for a booklet. This must be divisible by 4. Bleed and slug. Bleed. Extend the bleed area to 0.125 in 3 mm. This creates a red guide around your page. Any element that touches the edge of the final trimmed page must extend to this bleed line to avoid thin white lines after cutting. Slug. An area outside the bleed for printer's marks, job information, or registration notes. You can set this to 0.5 in. Margins. Set consistent margins, e.g., 0.5 in, to create a live area, a safe zone where all critical text and elements are kept away from the final trim edge. Incorporating Photoshop images and Illustrator graphics. A professional layout is a composite of assets created in the right tool for the job. Sourcing and preparing assets, photographs, Photoshop. All images must be high resolution. Ensure they are 300 ppi in their original size or larger. Perform all color correction, retouching, and cropping in Photoshop. First save final images as PSD, for transparency, or high-quality JPG files. Graphics, Illustrator. Logos, icons, maps, and custom illustrations must be created or saved as vector-based AI or EPS files. Placing into InDesign. Always use file place to import images and graphics. This creates a low-resolution proxy, a preview, link to the original high-resolution file, keeping your InDesign file nimble. Do not copy-paste from other applications, as this can embed low-resolution data and break the link to the original file. Use the Links panel, Window Links, to monitor all placed files. A modified icon, yellow triangle with, appears if the original file has been edited, allowing you to update the link. Advanced layout techniques and grid systems. Moving beyond simple layouts, a grid provides an invisible skeleton that brings order, rhythm, and professionalism to a multi-page document. Establishing a grid. Go to Layout. Create guides. A common approach is a 12-column grid with a 10 to 12 pt gutter, the space between columns. This offers immense flexibility for arranging text and images in different configurations while maintaining alignment across pages. Using the grid, snap text frames and image frames to this grid. Text can span multiple columns, e.g., a headline across 6 columns, body text across 3 columns. This creates a clean, structured, and intentional layout. Master pages. For consistency, apply your grid to the master pages. Also use masters to place automatic page numbers. Type insert special character markers, current page number, recurring headers/footers, and any background elements that appear on every page, like a subtle texture or color band. Text wrapping. Use the text wrap panel, window text wrap, to make body text flow gracefully around images. A 0.125 offset is a standard starting point. Pre-flight and package. Preparing for the printer. This is the most critical quality control step. Sending incorrect files to a printer can lead to failed prints, costly delays, and additional fees. Pre-flight. Your digital proofreader. InDesign's pre-flight panel, window output. Pre-flight checks your document for common errors in real time. Ensure the panel is set to the basic profile, which checks for missing fonts, missing links, images, overwritten text, text that doesn't use a paragraph style, images with low resolution, e.g., below 300 ppi. Address every error listed before proceeding. A professional designer never packages a file with pre-flight errors. Package. Gathering everything for shipment. File package is the command that collects all necessary files for the printer into one folder. The package dialog summarizes the project and checks fonts and links. Again, click package and you will be guided through options. Copy fonts. Ensures the printer has all the fonts used. Note, ensure your font license allows embedding for print. Copy linked graphics. Copies all the high-resolution image files you placed into the folder. Update graphic links in package. Ensures InDesign will look for the images in this new folder, not their original locations on your computer. The final result is a neatly organized folder containing your InDesign file, int, a folder of all fonts used, and a folder of all linked images. This is what you send to the printer. Final PDF export. While you provide the packaged folder, Printers often also require a press-ready PDF. Go to File, Export and choose Adobe PDF, Print, select a preset like PDF/X1A 2001, the industry standard that ensures all fonts are embedded and colors are properly configured for print. In the Marks and Bleeds section, check all printers marks and, crucially, use document bleed settings. By following this meticulous process, you transition from a designer to a production artist, ensuring your beautiful design is translated perfectly into a physical, printed object. Chapter 9, Project 3, Designing for Web and Social Media. Opening hook. The digital landscape is dynamic, fluid, and demands a different mindset than print design. Here, the goal is not just aesthetics but also performance, usability, and adaptability across a myriad of screen sizes and platforms. This chapter will equip you with the knowledge to create effective, optimized graphics for websites, social media, and email, focusing on the technical specifications and export techniques that define professional web design. Understanding digital dimensions and specifications. Designing for the screen requires a shift in measurement, color, and fundamental concepts. Pixels, px, as the unit of measure. Screens are made of pixels. All digital design dimensions are measured in pixels, e.g., 1200 px wide, 600 px tall, not inches or millimeters. Resolution, 72 ppi, pixels per inch. This is the historical standard resolution for web graphics. While modern high DPI, Retina, displays have more pixels per inch, the fundamental unit of design and front-end development remains the logical pixel. Designing at 72 ppi is still the correct starting point. RGB color mode. Screens use additive color mixing red, green, and blue light to create all colors. All digital graphics must be in RGB mode. Image mode. RGB color, not the CMYK used for print. Aspect ratio, the proportional relationship between an image's width and height, e.g., 1:1 for square, 16:9 for video, 4:5 for portrait. Maintaining the correct aspect ratio is critical to prevent graphics from looking stretched or distorted on different platforms. Creating social media graphics. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter/X, each social platform has its own constantly evolving recommended image dimensions. The key is to know where to find the latest specs and to design templates for efficiency. Strategy. Design with templates. Create a new document in Photoshop for each common graphic type, using